Welcome to the People of Purpose talk show community. Today's guest has dedicated herself to cultivating the next generation of civic leaders right here in the city of George. She is the driving force behind the George Junior City Council, a program that gives young South Africans a seat at the table of democracy. I welcome you, Jonel Kerspuy of George Municipality and the City of George.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I'm really excited. Thank you for this opportunity. And also, I'd like to just greet all the guests and all your followers from the People of Purpose talk show.
Thank you. Thank you, Janelle. And it is a joy to have you here today. You were present when the 2026 George Junior City Council was inaugurated at the George Banquet Hall. What went through your heart at that moment, watching these young people take their oath of affirmation?
Michelle, I felt so extremely proud of all of these young people. The one thing that I can definitely say that I take for myself from them, lessons that I've learned, is that all of them are extremely brave. They are not afraid to take opportunities, take chances, whether they feel they're not ready for it or yet. But one thing that I've learned, they take opportunities, they take those chances, and they go for it. So when they were inaugurated earlier during this year, I felt so extremely proud of them because all of them are really hard workers, they are brave, and they are ethical leaders. And I always tell them that when I look at them, the one thing that I really appreciate about them is that they go all in. And I feel very optimistic about the future of South Africa when I look at them.
When you look into the eyes of a young person taking that oath, what do you see? Hope, determination, a little bit of nerves?
Definitely, definitely. And I see hope for the future. And I think at this stage where we are at, and I want to say not only in South Africa, but different nations as well. When we look at the quality of leadership that we have at times, we do need a new breed of leaders that are ethical, that have integrity, leaders that do what they're doing for the people first, and also for the nations that are relying on them. So when I look into the eyes of these young people, I see hope for the future, and I see that there are ethical leaders out there, and that we, as the generation that are after them, we actually do have the responsibility to help them to become what we are lacking and what we were not able to be.
This year's JCC includes students from 9 different schools, including Parkdean High School, participating for the very first time. What does that growing diversity and inclusion mean to you as the coordinator of this program, Janelle?
For many years, the schools that are previously disadvantaged, I don't like to use that term, but for the sake of the conversation, I'm going to use it. They were not part of the Junior City Council. So that was one of the aims that we set out for the Junior City Council from last year, actually going forward, is that we actively pursue the inclusion of all the schools within George. So we haven't succeeded as yet to include all of the schools, but we are moving with small wins at a time. And those young people, especially the schools and the communities that they represent, they're so proud seeing the young people from their areas also representing the city of George on the Junior City Council. And one thing that is very important throughout this whole process is that all voices matter. So the voices of all young people matter, irrespective of where you come from, because each person has a story to tell. Each young person has a story to tell. And one of my mottos for life is that within each person, there is a unique quality that they can use and contribute to the betterment of society. So having all schools on board of the Junior City Council means that we can look at the development of all young people within the broader city of George. And in that way, they can also find each other, and we cultivate that sense of respect and humanity amongst this generation that maybe we've lacked a little bit as the previous generation, but helping them also to understand that not only the sound of one type of voice matters, but that all voices matters, and that we need to be inclusive of everyone and the development of everyone, even if it does not necessarily sound like what I'm used to or how I would want it to sound. But that also helps them as leaders to understand that you need to be open to listen to the voices of others and find ways and means, even if it's maybe a little bit difficult or different to what you used to, but to include that as well in your agenda of development.
How do you go about selecting young people for this program? What qualities are you looking for beyond academic achievement?
One of the biggest drivers is definitely the quality of leadership. And firstly, leadership to me, and that is what we also look for in prospective junior city council leaders, is that they are able to lead themselves. Because if you cannot lead and manage yourself first, you cannot really effectively lead other people. So, and then they obviously also come from the local high schools within George, grade 10 and 11 learners from the local high schools in George. They undergo really a rigorous panel interview comprising of municipal officials and the executive council of the junior city council. So there's a bit of a balance between adults and young people. So when we interview them, the first quality that we do look for is leadership, how they are able to lead and manage themselves, and also how that translates into either their school environment, their community, their churches. How do they sort of spill over that quality of leadership and development into the broader George municipal area? So definitely the quality of leadership, leadership of self, of empathy, and also diversity, being able to work within a broader group of people.
And what does it mean to a school community when one of their learners is chosen?
I actually saw a WhatsApp status of one of the deputy principals of one of our schools, and there was definitely some bragging rights going on there. Because it was the first time that the specific school, so I'm actually giving it away which school it was. So it was the first time for that school forming part of the Junior City Council. So for the schools that are currently part of the or that form part of the Junior City Council historically, what happened was there was sort of a history of the Junior City Council being present in the schools all over the years. And many of those learners also told me that when they were in primary school, Junior City Council members came to the school and informed them about the Junior City Council. But in some of the areas, that did not happen. So for the school and the community to find that their learners that are representing their school, that are representing their community, that they are also now forming part of the leadership or one of the leadership structures within the George municipal area, that definitely made them proud. And I also know it sets the bar for a higher quality of leadership within the school and specifically within school and learner leadership.
The 2025 JCC tackled some genuinely heavy issues, supporting families who lost their homes in a fire, gender based violence awareness, and the Boys' Parliament. How do you guide young leaders to take on real community pain without being overwhelmed by it?
Michelle, I need to say here that they actually identified those topics and those projects by themselves. So it wasn't that as the municipality we told them these are the issues, um, have a work at it. So these were the programs that they identified themselves.
Wow.
And that really demonstrates empathy and leadership, because for the quality and the type of issues that they addressed, a lot of adults even themselves don't have the capacity and the empathy and the leadership to address matters like that. So we normally have a planning session to just identify how we will roll out the specific programs that they want to roll out, how we will do it, some project management, and then after a program or a project, we have a debriefing session. So if there are any overwhelming feelings, normally we talk it through. But from our side, we normally just ensure that they know that they have support, that if there are any matters that they feel that they are not equipped to deal with, that they know I am there, or even one of the counselors that are overseeing them, that they are also present there. And then one key factor that I really pick up from a lot of these young leaders is that they have a support structure at home and also at school. So one key thing that I really take away from that, and that I'd also like to leave with your audience, is the participation of the parents and the support structure at home, and the difference that that makes to the quality of leader that we see, that I see every day. So behind the photos in the newspaper, the interviews that we are doing, behind that, there's a supportive parent, there's a supporter at church, there's a supporter in the community, at the schools that are cheering on these young people. So it's definitely the support structure that are there to tell these young people, we've got you, go for it.
We saw the 2025 junior mayor pass the baton to the incoming council. As the coordinator who holds the institutional memory of this program, how do you ensure that each new JCC builds on what came before rather than starting from scratch?
One fabulous thing that happened this year, the 2025 Junior City Council actually undertook to remain for a period of 3 months as mentors for the incoming Junior City Council. So there was that support from them, and guidance. So I also think, sort of offline, they were able to ask them for guidance, and some advice that they wouldn't necessarily feel too comfortable asking me for. So that support was there from the outgoing Junior City Council, as they undertook themselves to provide that supporting role for the incoming council. And then the structure of the Junior City Council itself, I oversee that. So I make sure that the structure of the Junior City Council, that is stable. So the administrative processes, the recruitment process, that all of those things are stable, so that when a new council comes in, they only come in with a passion, with a flair, and with the different programs and projects that they want to roll out. But I make sure that the institution of the Junior City Council, that functions according to their code of conduct. So that helps them a lot.
That's stellar work. Congratulations on being so astute with something so important, because you have a future generation of leaders
Mm.
literally in your hands, Janelle. How does that make you feel?
Excited, but it also drives me and gives me passion for what I'm doing. Sometimes it keeps me on my knees because I understand that I have a huge responsibility in my hands, and also that I'm working with other people's children. I'm working with learners that come from different schools. I'm working with the next generation. That really keeps me on my toes, and it really drives me and gives meaning to my life personally, but also professionally. But it's a great responsibility because it gives me the option of making a positive impact in the lives of all of these young leaders, because that's actually also how I was developed as a young person. They were great people that stood behind me, that helped me as a leader, and that helped me also as a person to understand that I have value and that I can contribute through that value.
That's marvelous. Were you also in the JCC?
No, I was not part of the Junior City Council. I'm
Mhm.
not going to give away my age, but during my days, My school was not allowed to be part of the junior city
Oh,
council,
wow.
but I was a part of the leadership and social organizations at my school
Okay.
many years ago, Michelle. Yeah, so
Yeah.
during my term, when I was at school, we were not allowed to, if I can use that word, to be part of the junior city council.
Wow, Janelle, but we've all walked that. As I'll give away my age too, because we come from the same the same
Yes.
background. It's amazing that it's now open and everybody can play on this field. It's a fair play too, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that is the great thing for this generation, that the arena and the playing field, it's open for them. So that is also one of the things that I also always try and bring across to them. Don't always complain. Don't play the victim, because there are so many opportunities that are available for you, opportunities that others did not have, that came before you, but you have the world of opportunities in front of you. The only thing that you need to do is identify them, identify your life goals, and then grab those opportunities with both of your hands.
Mhm. Janelle, the work you do often happens behind the scenes, but its impact will ripple for decades to come through every young leader who learns in your program that their voice matters.
Definitely, Michelle, that because your life as a person, you have value, that you need to live out that value, and that everything that we do, it has an impact on the generation that comes after us.
South Africa's youth face unemployment, inequality, and limited access to opportunity, challenges you have dedicated your life to addressing. What is your greatest hope for the young people who pass through the Junior City Council?
For the young people that are coming through the junior city council, and even those that are not forming part of the junior city council, that they will understand that their actions, it doesn't just happen somewhere in a silo, but that everything that we do, it has an impact on the next generation. So we might as well do the better thing or the higher thing, the best thing for yourself, your community, your country, because in that way you improve the quality of life for the generation of people that you're moving amongst right now, but also for those that come after you, your younger siblings, and even their children, that you improve the quality of life for them. So I would want them to spread their wings, to take up opportunity, take up space, and also not be limited to South Africa only. Yes, we are South Africans first, but like your life also, there's a broader world out there that are waiting for the voices of our South African youth to be made heard, because everywhere you go, we find that people love South Africans. They love the warmth and the genuineness of South Africa. So my message would be, spread your wings, fly, do what you must do, find out what is your purpose, what is your calling, and do that. Don't waste your time. Enjoy yourself. Yes, we need to enjoy ourselves. I'm only discovering now in my life that I can also have fun. Sometimes I'm too serious in nature. But enjoy yourself, but do it responsibly, and know that your actions have consequences, not only in this generation, but also in the generation to come. And also that within each one of us, there is something unique. There's a unique seed that can help to solve the challenges and the problem that this generation that we are in are facing, and also the generation that comes after us.
Thank you for everything you pour into these young people. So, God
Thank
bless
you.
you and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, Michelle, for this platform that you and your team have created also. Thank you for amplifying the stories and the voices and the faces of so many people that are working tirelessly behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, to improve the area of expertise and influence that they are in. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for this opportunity as well. It was really lovely to meet you and continue being a woman who drives change. And for such you're such a lovely person. It was an honor for me to meet you, and I'm sure that this will not be the last time